Calling all units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
I'm not listening to anything. So there's a microphone. What's up, everybody? Now I'm over here on Instagram and on YouTube. I was saying to Instagram that I was running a little late because I recorded a podcast yesterday and I forgot all my gear, or was lazy and left all my gear in the car. So I had to run out and get a camera, or actually I grabbed a different camera that I have in the house. And then my mixer that runs the microphone was out in the car. So I had to go get that. And then I was like, and then I was almost not going to do it, but I was like, I figured let's do it. I got to do it. But I recorded an episode yesterday with Chris from Good Dudes Concepts. It was a good episode. He's a local police officer and a SWAT team member, and he created this. After the Marjory Stoneman Douglas, incident, shooting, call, SWAT response, they were finding a tough time getting into some of these doors because, part of the rules is you lock these doors, and sometimes the classrooms were already evacuated, but they needed to still get into these classrooms, and for SWAT teams and even patrol officers to carry things like a Halligan, which is kind of a more traditional fire tool that they use to get into doors. They're heavy. You carry a Halligan, a sledge, a hammer, or something like that to get into these doors, and they're tough. So he created this tool called the BRB, and it really works and helps you get into doors, wedge into these doors and open the locks. Not the locks, but the door handles and stuff. And then additionally, it has like a glass break feature, which a lot of their videos on Instagram are pretty cool with the glass break feature, where they're like cutting through like freaking windshields, like tempered glass, laminate glass, and they've got some cool techniques. So they're good for patrol officers, because we're usually first on the scene on like an accident or something like that, and you can't wait for FD sometimes to set up and get a saw out or get devices out to pop glass, like if a car's rolled over on its side or something like that and difficult to get into through the doors. So this is freaking awesome. So he had two of them there yesterday during the podcast. Checking them out. He's getting a bunch more in to full orders and stuff. Entrepreneur. So he's getting trial tribulations of being an entrepreneur. So it was cool to see that, and it's something that would be cool to have on even your personal vehicle. And he's working on prototypes for smaller ones that are a little more portable for personal. But the version one, the regular one, there's pictures that they have up on their Instagram of like officers that have them in their external vest, and it goes in the external vest, and I think it's I don't know, it's like a pound or something like that, or it's like a half pound, but it goes in there and it serves a purpose, and it's pretty cool. Cool device. And Chris was just a good dude, as per his company name. So it was cool. So I'm working on that. I'll finish editing that today and tomorrow, and then I will have it out for Tuesday release. All right. Well, what's up, everybody on Instagram? I'm gonna move this over, that way I stop getting distracted by Instagram. So go check out, if you're on Instagram, slide over to YouTube, and we'll see you on YouTube. All right. So there you go. That one's all done. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to Coffee and Donuts. No donuts today. I do have pancake balls here. What's left of my breakfast. So cheers to everybody. Coffee to you. Been a busy week. I don't know. Like sometimes I'll have a topic for this, and sometimes it's just going to be like a catch up gossip session of life. So last week was, I mean, I didn't have a coffee and donuts last Sunday because I woke up in Miami and was running around crazy because I needed to fly out to California. So I last Saturday was the Counterculture Live event. It was a badass time. We were at Unseen Creatures Brewing down in Miami. A bunch of us from Counterculture. You had some other folks. I know Jerry and probably Liz are in the chat watching the live. They were out there. It was awesome to finally meet them in person because we've mostly just been friends over the internet. So it was cool to have a real life TV star there for the Counterculture Live event, and then Jack also sort of connected through the Jerry's world. Jack is a good dude. He's a police officer up in Wisconsin, and he's battling leukemia, and he wanted to attend the event, and so came down with his family, really nice family, and they got to meet Jerry. Jerry's like I don't know, patron saint for him kind of thing. He's through his treatments with chemo and everything like that, Jerry is his figurehead to kind of keep him motivated and everything. So it's pretty cool to see them connected, and then they got to talk a bit on the live. It's cool. If you haven't seen it, the audio is a little spotty, I think, towards the beginning, but I think it kind of improved. Check it out. It's on Counterculture's YouTube channel in the live portion. So that was a good time. And so then I stayed down in Miami just because I didn't want to drive, because I wasn't sure, in pre-planning how much I was going to drink and all that. So I wanted to be responsible, and didn't want to drive all the way home. And so we stayed at a hotel. The guys from Tone Alert, Austin and Matthew, and then their other friend, his name slips me. But so 3 guys from the Vegas, Nevada area came out, and they were there for the live and stuff. So we hung out that night near the pool, and had a couple more drinks and catching up and BSing and stuff like that. So, and then racked out and got some sleep, and then woke up because my wife and I had tickets through a friend to see Lainey Wilson, the country music singer, out in LA. So my wife was already there. She left on Saturday, and so I went home and changed out my bags and grabbed my stuff, grabbed my boots, and jumped on a flight to LA. God, it's a long flight, man. It was that's not something that I want to do all the time. But we do have family over there, and my wife's family is all over there. So it's always good to get over and visit them. Plus it's a free lodging to stay at their house. But it's great to hang out with them. So we were over there. I was basically there for, I don't know, like almost like 48 hours, maybe less. We did the concert. The concert was awesome. It was in this small theater on Wilshire in downtown LA. And Lupe saw that the max capacity was 700 people, and it wasn't, I don't even think it was a max capacity. So you had like less than 700 people in there to see this show for Lainey Wilson. And she did a full like 90-minute set. It was great. It was fun and worth the trip. So we went and saw that, and then I had to get right back because I had at least one day of work left during the week, and came back to work one day, and then back to my weekend, and and then here we are recording like I said, recorded a podcast yesterday that's going to come out this week, and then pick it back up with coffee and donuts for breakfast on Sunday morning. The Tyler and Mike are up in the DC area for NTOA, Tactical Officers Association conference or convention, whatever the hell it is, training courses. They're doing the trade show or whatever. Counterculture's got swag out there. Mike's got swag out there for, Copville, and they're out doing their thing. And we're getting ready to, film season 2 coming up of Other Than Honorable podcast with Jimmy Watson and Taylor Kavanaugh. So that'll be fun. We're filming that coming up in September, and see what those guys have to say, what they've been doing, and catching up with them. But yeah, any other stuff? You guys got any other questions or anything like that? It's going to be a crazy. We're coming up. August is almost done. We got 7 days. We got a week left in August. So August is almost done, and for me, September goes nuts. I got a trip to New York, not city, but out west, western New York, near Buffalo. Trip to New York. Got the Other Than Audible podcast recording. Then what else do I have? And then I'm going to Germany, Istanbul in Germany. Germany's for Oktoberfest. Istanbul is just a nice 2-day layover to check out Istanbul. So I'm going to do that. So September's going to be a crazy month of running around. Might have some gaps again in podcasts, just because I don't have them banked up. I'm just, I'm kind of going week to week. Having fun with it. There's a lot of work that goes into this stuff. So it's going to be a busy week, so we might be void of a couple episodes here and there, but I'll try and fill them in as I can. I was talking to a guy last night who has a canine dog that's gone through some crazy stories with health problems and stuff like that. And he's a federal law enforcement officer. So just getting that through the email stuff. So talking to him a little bit last night, trying to schedule a podcast. So he's not local, so we're going to do one over StreamYard. So that'll be coming up probably soon. I think we're going to try and record it next week. And then I got a phone meeting today with another guy, a retired homicide detective out of Lauderhill. He has a training company, and he comes down to South Florida a lot to do a lot of trainings. So I might do an in-person one with him and his partner, his training partner. And that one should be interesting. They should have some stories, and they're very professional about these conversations. And I'm like, you guys are gonna have to tone it down a little bit on the professionalism, and we're gonna need to it's gonna need to be a little more jokey. So those are a couple that are coming up, and then when I'm up in Orlando filming Other Than Honorable podcast, I'm gonna also schedule some other ones up in Orlando with our buddy Magnet, and then I may get one with our friend Josh that did my tattoo on my finger. He's a fireman. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to probably hit him up and say, hey, let's record an episode. So I may try and record one while getting a tattoo. We'll see what we can do. But I've used some software lately that has cleared up some background, because the place the studio where he does the tattooing, he doesn't own it, and they play music in the background, and he's like, it might screw up your YouTube algorithm if you record while getting a tattoo because of the music in the background. So I may be able to, with software that I've used now, clean that up and fix it. So it might make his episode interesting. So hell, maybe I get a tattoo while podcasting. So something different. Screwing around. It's not going to be in a donut shop though. But what else you guys got? I know Jerry's commenting, good morning and saying what's up. We did not have a counterculture open mic Friday night. These guys were traveling. They'd just gotten up to DC and were probably setting up for their show stuff. And then I didn't even plan on doing it. And Tyler texted me like a half hour before and was like, dude, if you want to do the live, you can run it. I'll give you the login. And I was like, I'm already out drinking with friends. We were doing a bourbon night at a friend's house. So there was no chance of me jumping on a live and doing anything that night. So what's up, Nathan? How are you doing, man? Man. So I've been researching. I've been looking at a couple different guns. So I try not to say that word anymore because I don't want the live stream to get killed by YouTube. But I'm looking. I've got some older ones, carry style that I've used, for off-duty carry throughout my career, and everything like with technology is consistently, changing, upgrading, moving along. And so there's some newer styles that I want to pick up. Like I have a 43, for those of you that know. And now they've got the 43X, which is a new one. And so I'm going to try to upgrade to that, sell off my old one. And then I even have a P365 that I don't carry that often. So I'm going to probably try to move that one as well. And, use it to pick up some stuff that, is either new and exciting for me. And, I always carry and, and of course I want one that is going to be conducive to me carrying, because the only good one to have is a one that you're going to carry all the time, because it does you no good sitting on a shelf or sitting in a drawer when you're out and about. And if something goes wrong or a problem comes to you. But there's some cool stuff, some add-ons and everything like that. And, and I've been having fun watching some of the videos of them on YouTube. So I get a little excited, and, it's fun to make a purchase. And then there's another one that I'm looking at doing. Actually, this company's out of Florida, out of the Tampa area. It's a town called Venice, and they are pretty cool looking stuff. And they have their factory there, and I've been communicating with the CEO about grabbing my gear and running up there and doing an actual podcast in their factory their factory floor in the Venice area to check out theirs. They have a like a 2011. It's like a sort of, they use like double stack Glock mags, but it's got that kind of classy like 1911 look. And that's a type that I've always wanted, and coming up on retirement in 4 months. So I'm looking at, picking something up as like a congratulations to myself, So so I want to check that company out, and and then get into going to the range a little more often. I haven't gone to the range as much as I should. Just, in the off time, hobbyist style, just, putting rounds down range, practicing technique. It's something that everybody should do. And, especially if you're an officer, you should always be practicing. And, other than our quals time, and then the couple supplemental range days that they provide us with the department, I tend to only like get out like one more time a year. So let's say like maybe 4 or 5 times a year total. Other than the week of training, we do a full freaking week of training, and it's like almost that full week is just, that's almost all you do. But it's never enough. So it's, so I'm going to check that out, or, get some stuff to get me motivated and excited about it again. And then look into doing it even more once I'm retired, and just kind of keeping that skill set available and honed up and practiced. But yeah, man. So yeah, Nathan says, oh yeah, I left that up there. Nathan's got the, going to share it in his story. So thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else. You guys got any other questions or anything like that? You want me to take any pictures of anything for you while I'm in Germany? You guys got your coffee? I'm just going to prolong it a little bit more, and then I've been taking these videos and then throwing the video up on Spotify as well. So it gets pushed out through Apple Podcasts just for the audio, but then on Spotify, it's actually got the videos. So sometimes people want videos on Spotify. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. If because if you're like me, you just like to listen to the podcast audio. I listen to it while I'm at work, driving around, because I can just pause it and go to a call or whatever, or take a phone call or something like that. Got a full 4-day week coming up this week. Oof, those are always brutal. 11.5-hour shifts on a 4-day week. They definitely drain on you and pull. What else has been going on lately? I don't know. It's crazy stuff. Sometimes try to keep your head in the sand a little bit about some of the national stuff going on and just focus on the local stuff. And then for me, just focus on this podcast sphere of gathering guests and getting people on the show and stuff like that. So what's up, Liz? You missed Florida already. Funny story from last week. The guys, from Tone Alert, they're from the Vegas area. So they got that dry heat that they're dealing with, that they're used to. And they're like texting in the group chat. They're like, God, man, how do you guys even breathe here because of the humidity and the moisture in the air? It's like, I mean, I'm used to it. I don't even notice it. But they were like, man, you guys can't even breathe. It's like breathing in soup. So it was kind of funny. They're just like when you walk outside and you leave the AC and it just gets like slapped. And I'm sure even in Tennessee, the air is a little different. But it still gets pretty humid in Tennessee. But yeah, we can miss you guys in Florida. And Jerry says, Jerry's keeping me going. He says, what off-duty holster do I use? So I have, I don't even know. It's probably a company that I got from, or that I saw from Instagram. And it's just basically a, whatchamacallit, like a Kydex inside the waistband. So you have inside the waistband, and I've also had outside the waistband, off-duty, whatever, concealed carry holsters. So my outside the waistband one, it had like 2 clips on the outside, and then it was like Kydex sandwich that it slipped inside, and then I could even slip a mag inside. And then it just kind of curved around my hip and just clipped into my belt. So I kind of like that because it was very close to an on-duty setup. I don't carry. One of the ways to carry is appendix. Your appendix is in the front of your stomach, your abdomen area, and so a lot of the draw videos you see online are guys flipping their shirt up and drawing from an abdomen carry. I carry on the same side that I carry on duty, so that it's a very similar maneuver that I would do on duty. So it's just that muscle memory that I keep going for myself. Just because it would obviously be a stressful situation. And so your muscle memory is what you're going to have to depend on. So, but otherwise it's pretty much every day when I go out, it's inside the waistband. And so that just kind of goes inside your pants. And it holds in, and it just has a little clip that goes outside your pants. And then the grip and the handles on the, outside, or your kind of like comes up out of your pants. And so that's what I got. I'll go grab it since we're here. Yeah. We're back. So this one, let's see. This one, you can't even see it. Gear, I don't know, something. Let's see if I can get some light shining. There's his logo. That says logo. It's like lasered on there, but yeah, there's a multicam. It's got a sweat guard. So, cause like this side goes up next to your body. So, sweat guard will kind of protect the piece from getting, sweaty and dingy. But, it's just pretty basic. Just covers the trigger, and, goes down to my pants, ready to go. So this was for my, 43. So that's why it's sitting on my dresser, because it's, probably going to go out with the piece when I sell it. But yeah, so I have a bunch from that guy, just, different color prints. I was looking up, there's a company that I saw on YouTube that does some good reviews and some range videos and stuff. They're called QVO, Quick Violent Over, and they have some holsters and stuff. So I was because now it's like with this one that I'm going to put a flashlight on the front of it. I'm going to do this Radian Ramjet setup where it's got a compensator on the front of it, and so it's all these extra doodads and to-dos added stuff on it. So the holster's got to be appropriate for it. Like I can't take this one and put it in there. It's a very similar, but it's going to be a bit longer. So this would have to almost be completely open or gone to have it even work with it. So I'm just going to upgrade, or I'm just going to grab a different holster. So that's kind of like what I do. Additionally, I have like a sling, fanny pack sling type thing. It's got patches. I put all like my little patches on the front of it, and but it has Velcro, or it has like the loop on the inside. So I bought sort of a holster for it to go, or for the piece to go in, and so that's called off body carry for anybody that doesn't know. So sometimes I'll have that slung around my chest, and I can put stuff, it's a man purse. I can put like a wallet or some other stuff inside there. But then I've also got that and an extra mag for whatever. So, so that's how I do off body carry, because it's not inside the waistband. So it's off your body. So I do that one. But yeah, Liz says sheepdog holsters are cool. I'm sure they are. There's so many companies, just because, Kydex is pretty prevalent, and that's one of the best ways to carry, one of the easiest ways to carry, and put, keep it good and keep it quick, accessible for you. Yeah, Liz says the iguanas are not your friends, or not their friends. Austin's a hunter by nature, and he wanted to try and catch an iguana. So they were running around looking for iguanas. Nathan says, what's your duty carry? So what do I carry on duty? I do, my department has we went to 40 cal. When I started 20 years ago, it was, buy whatever you wanted off of a list, basically. So I had the Glock 21, which is a 45. Loved it. That's what I did through the academy with all those qualifications and stuff, and carried it for the first, I don't know, it was probably like 3-4 years. And then we got a new chief, and he came in and said, at the time, the wave was 40 cal. 40 cal is the way to go. 9mm was not useful. So everything was 40, 40, 40, 40. So we went to the Glock 23s because they wanted everybody to have the same gun. Detectives, duty gun, like road patrol, all that kind of stuff. And then once in a while, if like an officer was like a giant athlete, huge hands, that kind of thing, they gave you a waiver to get a Glock 22, which is the full size 40 cal. So there was a few people that had that. Then eventually they went to where they just, they said, they kind of flipped it, where they said everybody's going to get the 22. And if you are smaller, you're going to get the 23. So they took those 23s that they had bought, because what they had done is on the slide, they had stamped our patch for the department. They had put that on the slide, so it's lasered in or whatever. They took all of those, and so everybody that carried those, like, I still have the box with nothing in it. And when I retire, I can take that. I can take that, or $250. So I mean, I think the piece is a little worth a little more. So when I retire, I'll take that one, and you can do different stuff. I can keep it. I can change the slide out. Who knows? Whatever. But it'll be mine to take as a retirement gift. But yeah, so on duty we have the Glock 22s, which are 40s, and some of the. And so one of the interesting things that you do, because the idea for everybody being on the same platform is that if you get into a bad situation or something like that, you can trade out magazines. Hey, I'm out, I'm dry, like throw me one of your extra magazines. So one of the things is everybody that's got the 23, they have one of our Glock 22 mags in there. Like pretty much none of them use the Glock 23 mags because they need to be able to, toss, a full mag to somebody. If I get the 23 mag, they're shorter, because the grip is shorter. They're shorter, so it's not going to feed into mine. So it would be kind of a waste. So some of those, they look kind of funny. They kind of stick out the bottom of theirs. Yep. So yeah, Jerry agrees and shares the same sentiment that I was just explaining. So but part of that is I'm curious. I mean, I don't know, like when you were in Springs, Jerry, what did they carry in Springs? Were they using 9s or 40s? Like right now we're doing a bunch of changing. Like all of our SWAT guys that are on the road all have, it's the Glock 45, which is a 9mm, similar to a 19 platform, but with a larger grip, I believe. And then they're red dot. They're set up with red dots. So then they phased it in with the school resource officers. They gave them all these 45. And so like that for my agency is going to have an issue if we're in a firefight and somebody tosses me a mag of 9 and I'm like, yeah, this ain't going in, or this isn't going to work in mine. So we're kind of anti what we used to be, where it was like we wanted everybody in the department on the same platform. But within the next year or something like that, I never pay attention when they mention it because I know I'm not going to be here for it. They're going to phase in. I think probably the next block training cycle, they're going to phase all of us into the 9mm, the Glock 45. So they're gonna do that. So Jerry says that Springs had SIG. So that's a different thing, because back when I started, Springs had Glock. They were, I remember officers from us that were leaving to go to Coral Springs. They they'd get freaking, they even got assigned an off-duty pistol. So so they got their on duty and off duty. So they had Glocks, all kinds of stuff. And then he also was assigned a SIG AR. And you were in the schools. So we have Daniel Defense, 10.5 inch barrel Daniel Defense, SBRs, in our agency. So we have Daniel Defense, and then we'll have Glock going through. So, all right, cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we hit the half hour mark. And I gotta go start getting ready for the gym and go. Jim's beating me up this week. I did a hell of a workout on Friday at F45. So beat me up. So gotta go get ready for that, and then come home and gotta do grocery shopping, and then hit the editing board and get this podcast edited and stuff. So happy Sunday to everybody. Happy Sunday, Liz. What's up? And then, we'll catch you guys. Should be good for next week. Say what's up, and let's check the schedule. Yep. Good. Fantasy football season next Saturday. Got fantasy football. Everybody, good luck on those fantasy football drafts coming up. And we'll see you next week, this Tuesday again. Should have a new podcast dropping Tuesday, so check it out. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me, and see you on the next one. Later.
Calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.